The Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw, editorial director at tigerfitness.com and Muscle and Brawn Nutrition CEO. The big hairy ugly dude, that's me. It's Q&A Sunday. Got a bunch of questions today. Should be about a 15-minute video, so hang in there. Before I get into the question, guys, I encourage you to please check out my Q&A link below. Come on over, post your questions in that Q&A link. I answer every question posted. The best questions I turn into a Q&A video just like this every Sunday. Now, I also want to encourage you to please subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate your support. Got the Q&A questions on my handy dandy LG pad. Let's get into them, guys. First question is from Windjammer. Says, "Dear big hairy ugly dude, do you warm up differently for leg press compared to squats?" Absolutely. I've detailed how I warm up for the big compound movements in many videos. For leg presses, it's not as critical that I warm up the central nervous system because it's not as an intense of a posterior chain movement as squats. So I probably do 2, maybe 3 warm-up sets on leg press, simply because I'm going from about 225 to 400 and whatever to 600 and whatever, maybe up to an 800-pound working set. So I just use common sense when I'm warming up in leg presses. I want to activate my central nervous system, obviously, but it's not as critical. There's not a high degree of likelihood that if I just jump under heavier weight that I'm going to injure myself. The leg press is a safer lift than squats. So I do 2, maybe 3 warm-up sets, but use common sense. I don't use 6, 7 warm-up sets like I do with squats. Next question is from Harry Arms. Harry says, "If you reverse dieting and one day you crack or binge, and you go on a binge, should you continue with your calories as previously, etc., etc.?" Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing about cutting diets or bulking diets or whatever type of diet you're doing. You're always going to have days where you crack, where you binge. Maybe you head over to a relative's house for a birthday party and you eat an extra piece or 3 of cake or something like that. Or you're with some buddies and all of a sudden the night gets out of control and you're eating pizza and drinking Mountain Dew or whatever the case is. Things like that happen. They're part of life. They are part of life. And just because you have a day like this where you have some fun doesn't mean you should shut down your plans previously. In fact, I advocate planning for things like this. If you are on a cutting diet and running at, say, 2,400 calories a day, I like to take out 1,000 calories from that over the course of a week and just use them when I want. So instead of running 2,400 calories a day, you could run like 2,370 calories a day or whatever and save 1,000 calories to eat for whatever you want, whenever you want during the course of the week. So that's a good way to plan for on a cutting diet. There's always something that's going to come up where you might want to eat a little bit more food. So don't let that derail your results. It's a lifelong journey. And things like this happen. If you pretend things like this aren't going to happen, you're simply lying to yourself. Don't let days where you have fun derail your big goals. All right, guys, let me get some coffee here and get into the next question. Next question is from Danceey. Says, "What do you think about eating small pieces of dextrose glucose in between exercises? My super intense workouts often take longer than 90 minutes, and after 30 to 45 minutes, I feel I need some extra fuel." Here's what I do. Currently, because I am trying to lose a little bit of extra fat, I sip on BCAAs and water during my workouts. But for many years, what I would do is I would take your 24-ounce or 20 to 24-ounce shaker, and I would put a half to a scoop of protein powder in there, so it's very watered down. And I would sip on that during a workout. So I was getting in some protein during a workout. Not just because I was anal retentive about getting in protein, but I like the taste. Sometimes I don't like the taste of water. It's just a simple way of getting in more protein during the day. Now, if you need some sugar, some dextrose, what I'm going to recommend is checking out my product called Huge Gainer at tigerfitness.com. It has a perfect 3-to-1 carb to protein ratio. So each scoop has about 8 grams of protein, give or take 25 grams of carbs. And you can put 1 scoop of that in 1 or 2 scoops of that in about 24 ounces of water, so it's diluted a little bit. So whenever you sip, you're getting a steady stream of a little bit of protein, a little bit of carbohydrates. It's about 160 calories, 157 calories per scoop. So if you put in 1 scoop, you're getting 157 calories in 20 to 24 ounces of water. You put in 2 scoops, you're getting about 310, 320 calories total. And that's just one option. You can go with straight protein powder. The reason why I advocate my product is because A, it's my product, and B, it's actually cheaper than protein powder alone because carbohydrates are more cost effective than protein. And Danceey, you expressed your goal of taking in dextrose during your workout. So that's my recommendation. Get Huge Gainer. It is a top quality product. It allows you to sip on a little bit of food during your workout, so you don't have to take in, chicken breast or broccoli or whatever you're thinking about doing. Or dextrose, excuse me, dextrose. Sorry, I was thinking of chicken and broccoli, the standard bodybuilding diets. That way you don't have to take in, dextrose in your workout. You could just put a scoop of Huge Gainer in. All right, next question. BoulderShoulders says, hey, big hairy ugly dude, does using chalk all the time hinder grip strength? No, absolutely not. Using chalk might help you maximize or come close to maximizing your natural grip strength, but it's not going to hinder grip strength at all. So using chalk every day, it's a wise choice. It simply allows you to maximize the strength you already have. All right, next question is from WhatsNext. He says, how significant is the loss of recovery abilities as you get older and older in the iron game? I see a lot of guys in their 30s complaining about their lower back after deadlifts. They claim that when they were in their 20s, they did heavy deadlifts all the time, but their body can't take it anymore. Look, here's the thing, WhatsNext. I've never felt better. The key really is to focus and work on form. I meet a lot of folks, probably 90% of folks I coach, 90% of folks who send me videos, who have subpar deadlift form. So that is an issue. You have to constantly work on form over time as you get older. That's your number one backup plan against having lower back or recovery issues. Now, I'm a huge advocate of only doing about 2, maybe 3 sets max of deadlifts per week. I only do 2. And when I coach a lot of people, it's usually 2 to 3 sets a week. And on top of that, I never advocate training above 90% of your 1 rep max. That will severely hinder your ability to recover. There's really never any reason to train above 90% of your 1 rep max, or to train for heavy singles in that area, or train for 1 rep max strength. Train for new 1 rep max, or attempt a new 1 rep max. So consider those factors when it comes to recovery for deadlifts. If you want to get in extra deadlift work, you can do low or high rack pulls, you can do power shrugs, you can do Romanian deadlifts, etc. Things like that. But don't overwork the deadlift, don't use a deadlift above 90%, and work on form. If you do those 3 things and listen to your body, you're going to be fine. All right, next question is from Samuel Cusick Riley. He says, he's got a long question here, but he says, I'm on a keto diet. He's lost over 100 pounds of fat already. Great job. He went from 350 pounds to 239 at 6'6". Now he wants to get down to 200 pounds, but he's worried about losing strength and muscle he's worked so hard for over the last 9 months. Look, here's the thing, Samuel. I've said this over and over again. I worry about losing strength. Everyone worries about losing strength. Everyone worries about losing muscle. The only thing you can control during a cut is your effort in the gym and how smart your diet program is. Those are the only things you can control. You can't control whether you lose strength. You can't control whether you lose a little bit of muscle. You'll likely lose a little bit of muscle. You have to focus on the things you can control. You have to focus on the things you can control. Training properly and eating properly on that cut. Not making too dramatic or drastic of a cut in calories, not under eating protein, structuring a wise cutting diet, and getting it done in the gym. As long as you're doing those things, everything else is just going to happen how it's going to happen. So, yes, you're probably going to lose a little bit of strength. Yes, you're probably going to lose a little bit of muscle. Maximize that with gym effort, maximize that with a proper diet, and you will minimize the amount of strength and muscle you lose. Now, here's the good news. Here's the good news. When you come off your cutting diet and go on a slow, long, clean, lean bulk, you are going to regain any muscle mass you lost. Muscle memory is a beautiful thing. I've cut many times, and during the birth of my daughters, one time I took several years away from training. I came back, and over the course of 3 or 4 months, I packed on all the muscle mass I lost in 3 or 4 months. So even if you do lose muscle over a cut, once you get back on a clean, lean bulk, you're going to gain that muscle back, and you'll likely start building strength again. So, hey, you've worked hard to build that strength and muscle. Don't worry about the muscle. It's going to come back. The strength will come back slowly. The strength will come back slowly. But, look, you can't have everything. You can't be super lean at 6'6" and be super strong unless you're taking plenty of illegal substances. So I hope that helped. Next question is from Rayban. He says, Big Hairy Ugly Dude, how to reverse diet when jumping from a cut to a bulk, or etc., etc. Look, here's my best recommendation. I don't know a lot about reverse dieting. It's just not a topic I really care to study about. Some of these things are just all so super bodybuilding competition focused. But look, I can give you some advice when jumping from a bulk to a cut to a bulk. Here's my best advice. Most people, when they're on a bulk, say they're having 3,200 to 3,500 calories a day, they jump to a cut and they do like 2,200 calories a day. So they make this severe drop in calories. This is idiotic. It's not the way to do things. What you want to do is dial down your calories from your bulk about 300 calories a week. See how your body is responding. Once you get to the point where you're losing 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a week, stay at that calorie level. Why drop 1,300 or whatever calories a day when you might be able to lose weight just dropping 300 to 500 calories a day? You'll be able to eat more food. You'll be able to lose fat at an optimal rate where you're not losing as much muscle as well. And what's going to happen when you're at, say, 3,000 calories and losing weight and it stalls? You have some room to drop the calories a couple hundred a day. But if you drop to 2,000 or 2,200 calories a day and it stalls, what's going to happen then? You're going to drop it either further and go into starvation mode and be cranky and not be able to eat anything all day. So slowly dial down things when you're on a bulk into a cut to try to lose weight. And when you're on a cut, don't go from whatever you're at now to adding 1,000, 1,200 calories a day. Slowly work back up, plus 200, plus 300 calories a day a week until you get to that maintenance, that sweet spot maintenance level. Let it sit at that maintenance level for 2 to 3 weeks, and then go above maintenance, 300, 400, 500 calories, depending on what stage you are at muscle building and how aggressive you want to run your diet. So that's my best advice. I hope that helped some. Steve Rogers says, hey, Big Hairy Ugly Dude, am I better off using weight plates or cables on a decline weighted sit-up? He says he's using 90 pounds in plates and it's getting tough to do them. So Steve Rogers is doing weighted decline sit-ups. He's using 2 45-pound plates, and it's getting a little bit tricky. He wants to know if he can use cables. Absolutely, but I have a better option for you, an exercise that is similar, that is really going to kick things up a notch. Now, you can do this on the decline bench, or you can do this on a regular bench press unit. What you do is you grab a barbell. You can grab one of those preloaded things at the gym, you know, with 50, 60, 70 pounds or whatever. It can be a straight bar, easy bar, or you can go on a bench press unit and put like 40 or put, you know, 10 pounds on each side or whatever. Okay, what you do is if you're on a bench press unit, you unrack and then you sit up. You sit up, and as you sit up, this is me sitting up, the bar comes straight overhead. So when you're flat, you're like this, and as you sit up, you go like this. So you're doing a sit up with the bar, and the bar is going like, the bar is staying upright. This is a brutal way to train your core, and it really kicks up those decline sit-ups up a notch. You can do it from a decline position. You just start with it like this, but just sit up and make sure to keep the bar directly overhead. That is the ultimate upgrade from weighted decline sit-ups. So I hope that has helped. Next question, 2 more left. Hang in there, guys. Next question is from Disco180. He says, thanks for all your help. I'm getting only 1,600 calories a day because I'm on a low-carb keto diet. I'm 180 pounds. About a month ago, I was the same weight, but my protein is through the roof at about 180 to 200 grams a day. Should I be eating 2,000 calories a day and push my protein to almost 300 grams a day? Look, Disco, I'm going to be honest with you here. No man should ever eat only 1,600 calories a day. You don't drop your calories dramatically just because you're on a keto diet. A keto diet is not a starvation diet. A keto diet is a keto diet. You should not be eating only 1,600 calories a day on a keto diet. That is a recipe for metabolic disaster. That's starvation. You, unless you're over 35, should be eating 2,500 calories a day on a keto diet. You should be losing 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a week in fat at that caloric intake level, and you're not starving yourself. So a keto diet is not the same as a starvation diet. You need to be eating a lot more calories. If your weight is stalled because you're starving yourself. Your body is in starvation mode and you're screwing up your metabolism. Now, you said let me just comment on, let me just quote you exactly. You said your protein is through the roof at 180 to 200 grams a day. That is not through the roof. That is normal intake level for a male that is trying to build muscle. I recommend 180 to 220 grams a day. That is not through the roof. That is a large number that is a quality number for a woman on a keto diet. So I'm assuming you're not a woman, Disco 180. If you are, I apologize. But on a keto diet, you're asking, should you be getting 300 grams a day? You need to have 22, 24, 2,500 calories a day. Probably about 60% of those calories, 50, 60% of those calories from fat. So yeah, you should be eating probably at least 250 grams of protein a day. So I hope that helped. Drop that starvation diet. You are going to do damage to your body. You're going to lose all kinds of muscle mass. And it's defeating the purpose. It's just when you get off that keto diet, when you get off that starvation diet, all hell is going to break loose. All hell is going to break loose. You're going to pack on weight. All right, last question is from Steve Rogers. He says, I have an off-topic question. Why do you call yourself the big, hairy, ugly dude? You don't exactly strike me as ugly. Thank you. I'm curious why that nickname started. Look back at my early videos. I was 346 pounds. I had a beard down to here. So I was big, I was hairy, and truthfully, I was ugly. Holy cow, I was one of the ugliest men I ever seen. I was an ugly 346 pound man with a big ugly beard. I looked at myself back then and I'm like, I am the big hairy ugly dude. And you know what? I just like to have fun. Too many guys in this industry take themselves too seriously. They prop around like, I'm an alpha male, and I look perfect, and look at me in the mirror with my selfie and all this other kind of bull crap. I don't take myself seriously. I like to have fun in life. and it's okay to poke at yourself. It kind of goes counter to what our modern culture is, because everybody takes himself super seriously, and look at how sexy my six-pack abs are. I'm the big, hairy, ugly dude, and I don't mind poking fun at myself. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, again, hit up my Q&A link below. Come on over, post your questions in that Q&A link. I answer every question posted. The best questions I turn into a Q&A video on Sunday just like this, so check back. And if you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I would appreciate the support. I actually lift weights, and I want to help you get as big and as strong as humanly possible. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.